Hi guys, welcome to Just on Tarot. We're doing our daily check-in for Friday the 17th, April 17th. Oh. Remember, take what resonates, leave the rest. I hope everybody's having a good day. Sorry about the lighting, we're working on that. Alright, what do we have for Aries? Lady Aries. Alright. What are you dealing with today? Ideas. Looks like we're looking into something today. Ooh, maybe having to drop something. We got the Page of Swords. Alright, followed by the Five of Pentacles, Three of Cups, and the Tower. Eight of Pentacles on the bottom. I feel like this is about you creating something new today, having new ideas, but kind of deciding what you need to leave behind or what works, what doesn't work. I feel like you're needing to get out with some friends, maybe do something a little fun to help with that creative side. You know, maybe this is about your studies and being overwhelmed. And I feel like all of it's starting to crash down on you. You know, you're still focused on what you're wanting to build, but I feel like you also need to focus on yourself a little bit, especially maybe have a little clarity about what's working for you. So maybe you just take a little time, figure out what your priorities are. You know, maybe talk to some friends or have some friend time. You know, shake things up a little bit with this Tower card. Enjoy life a little bit. You think you're so focused on your studies and your own dreams that maybe you're not quite being clear with your own ambitions here. All right, that's what I got for you, Aries. Moving on to Taurus. How we doing, Taurus? All right. Let's see what we have for Taurus. Oh. And I do apologize for the lighting. There's not much I can do about that right now. I'm currently working on my new office. Alright, what do we have for Taurus? The lovely bulls of the zodiac. That wanted to pop out, but it stayed in, so we're going to leave it. If it comes back out, it comes back out. Alright, what do we have for Taurus? Okay, well, it did come flying out. Three of Cups with the Knight of Wands. That Broken Heart and the Eight of Wands coming out. The Two of Wands. I think right now you're stuck at a crossroads. Ooh, okay. So for whoever's out there, if this is a job or relationship, I feel like with that Three of Cups, there was third-party energy bringing into it. It feels like a cheating energy, I'm going to say, or you feel like you've been cheated on, especially when it comes to somebody that is kind of in and out behavior. We got the Three of Swords here, means you're going through some kind of heartbreak, whether it's an issue at work, maybe a flighty boss, maybe you were talking to somebody you thought was worth your time, wasn't worth your time, and it's kind of putting you in the state of agony with this Three of Swords. But, you know, I think it's time to move on with this Eight of Wands, you know, maybe push past it. You got the Two of Wands on the bottom with the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Swords. I think it's telling you, you know, make a decision about whether or not you want to kind of find your true self or maybe a career that you want in your right path. With the Knight of Swords, it's saying go for it. You know, he's running towards something in this, you know, say what you want and go after it. Oh, we have the Fool card right behind that. I feel like we need to take that leap of faith and not be caught up in our own heads with this Two of Swords behind that. I don't know. Felt like that message needed to get out. All right, Taurus, that's what I have for you today. All right, moving on to our Geminis. What do we have for these lovely Geminis? All right. What do we have for Geminis? Beautiful Geminis. All right. What do we have for the lovely Geminis? All right. Normally they're talkers. They're not talking much today. What we got going on, Gemini? We got the Moon. Maybe hidden secrets. Kind of dealing with something scary. We got Death and Rebirth. Ooh. All right. We're not taking all that, but I feel like somebody's being stubborn with the Emperor coming out. All right. What do we got? 2 more, please. 2 more. All right, there's our 2. All right. I think you're kind of fearful that something isn't going to change. You know, you're not really in your head about it, but you're not really walking away. With the 2 of Swords in reverse and the 8 of Cups. Like, you're not really mulling over the decisions, but you're not really going anywhere. I feel like you're kind of stuck, you know. You do kind of focus on your independence, but I think you're also thinking negative thoughts, like telling yourself, can I really be independent? Can I do this on my own? And the truth is, yeah, you totally can. You know, with the 10 of Pentacles behind that and the Page of Pentacles. Like, you just got to take that step. But right now I see you kind of just not really moving, I guess. Not really, I guess. You're not moving. Oh. I'm going to give you one more card. Page of Cups. Maybe offer yourself a little bit of love. Okay? You know, work on some self-care, some self-love. See where you're going. Focus on that 9 of Pentacles, that independent energy. You know, embrace the unknown. Maybe something changing in your life. So I do like the 2 of Swords upside down because it feels like you're kind of in a decision mode. Like, you know where you want to go, but you're not really moving in that direction with that 8 of Cups in reverse. All right, take it how you will. All right, this could be love, money, outside, family. It's your story. All right, moving on to Cancer. What do we got for those lovely Cancerians out there? All right, what do you have for Cancer? What do we have for Cancer? All right, Cancer. One more shuffle. Thank you. All right. What do we have for Cancer? I'm not taking all that. Oh, we got the Emperor. With 3 of Cups. Ooh, 8 of Swords. And the Queen of Pentacles. King Cups on the bottom with Four of Wands. I feel like this is like you standing in your own right. Oh, the Emperor is very, he knows what he wants, he knows what he's getting, and is very stubborn. And I think this has something to do with some kind of celebration. Like you're wanting to celebrate something, but you're kind of in and out of your head about it. And I think the universe is trying to tell you, spend some time on you, nurture you with this Queen of Pentacles. You know, I feel like you're very in tune with your emotions right now, or you're trying to be in tune with your emotions and kind of focusing on the celebrations that you can have. I feel like this Four of Wands, you're focused on home life and being balanced. And the other thing I kind of see is, maybe there's somebody you're focused on, but at the same time, like, is that person focused on somebody else and it's got you in your head? And while you're trying to focus on your wants, your needs, your drives, you're just trying to sit down and figure out how to place your emotions, especially when it comes to home life or like your family aspects. And if this is a job or career, it's quite possible that you're you know what you want to do, you know how you want to celebrate, but you don't know how to get there. So trust yourself. You know, Four Cups. I feel like I need to pick an advice. Like, pay attention to those missed opportunities. You might have something out there that is better than what you have going on. Take it or leave it. That's all I got for you, Cancer. All right. We're moving on to Leo. All right, what do we got for the lovely lines of the zodiac? All right, what do we have for Leos? Beautiful Leos out there. Alright, what do we have for Leos? Oh, my beautiful Leos. Come on, give me one. There we go. Knight of Swords. Maybe you're chasing something. You got goals in place you're trying to put out there. Ooh, trying to find some kind of balance in your life, this Justice card. Maybe a little conflict. Here we go. Page of Swords come out. Queen of Cups. Ooh, the World. I feel like currently you're trying to find some emotional balance. You're trying to be creative. And with the World card here, everything comes in its own time. Okay? So, whatever the situation is, I think you're trying to run away from it, but with the Justice card saying it's going to be balanced. But you're kind of turning your back on something and focusing on different ideas with this Page of Swords here. So whether this is a love situation, like maybe face it head on. Let's not change the way you do things. Or maybe it's somebody doing this to you is running away and you feel like it's not fair that you're being left out in the cold. And you're trying to strategize like how to heal from this. So I think the universe is telling you be creative. Maybe focus on your own emotions, focus on your own ideas. You know, everything heals with time. I don't really have any healing cards, but that's just kind of the energy I'm getting, is that maybe you're dealing with somebody, or it could be like in jobs where you're dealing with somebody that is kind of not really showing up the way they need to, and you feel like it's unbalanced and it's unfair with this justice card. And you just kind of want to turn your back on it. And maybe you have other ways of dealing with that situation with this Page of Swords, like you're trying to get a little creative, like how can I make this work, how can I move forward. You know, there's options there. You know, she's got all these light bulbs here, you know, and she's researching, she's putting the work in. All right. Advice is trust. Yeah, pulled the Hierophant for advice. You know, trust the universe. All right, that's what I have for you Leos. On to Virgos. All right, what do I have for my lovely Virgos? My beautiful Virgos. Right. What do I have for these beautiful Virgos? I always feel like I sound super country on this, and I'm not. All right, what do we have for the beautiful Virgos? We have the King of Pentacles. Focused on goals, knowing what you want, how to get there. All right. The King of Wands. Okay, we're not taking all that, but the Ace of Pentacles did pop out. All right, what do we have for Virgos? 2 more, please. Queen of Wands shows up too, so whoever needs to hear it, be able to set your boundaries. All right, King of Pentacles, King of Wands, 7 of Swords, 2 of Wands. I feel like this is you being focused on your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, standing in your own right. Like, you want to be abundant, you want to make money. How are we going to make money with this King of Wands? All right. With the 7 of Swords, it's normally like a betrayal or deceit, but I also see it as a strategizing. How are we planning? How are we going to do this? With that 2 of Wands, it's more about deciding which direction you're going to go. Like, pick a direction. Okay. With the 6 of Wands being on the bottom with Judgment and the 4 of Pentacles, I feel like this is shining in your own light. Like being proud of your accomplishment you made and wanting other people to see it. But at the same time, like you can't hold on to these dreams so tight that it's going to crush you. Sometimes you have to let it out and just set it and forget it, I guess. So, lovely energy, and I feel like you really have a goal in mind. You're really working toward it, and you're really embracing it. You just, with this 2 of Wands, you got to pick a direction. You got to go. All right. If this was a love situation, I don't feel like it's a love situation, so I'm not even going to comment on it. Your advice is 2 of Cups. Maybe it is a love situation, but it's still a choice. Pick a choice. Maybe you're trying to pick between 2 different men. I do not know. I still don't feel like it's a love situation, so good luck, Virgo. You have a good day. All right, moving on to Libra. My lovely Libras. I hope you guys are having a good day. Right. What do we have for Libra? These beautiful Libras. All right. The lovely Libras. All right. What do we got? Everybody wants so much information today. that was going to pop out. It didn't, so it's staying. If it wants to come out, it will. Alright, what do I have for my beautiful Libras? The Justice Carriers of the Zodiac sign. Alright, we got the Hangman and Judgment with Six of Pentacles popping out. Oh, it feels like I need to keep those, so we're going to keep them. I feel like it's telling me speak your truth. The Queen of Swords and the King of Cups in the back with the Six of Wands. Speak your truth. Whatever it is. I feel like you're stuck in this position right now where you're trying to find things from a different perspective. Like you're trying to look at it from maybe the eyes of somebody else, you know, especially if you feel like you're giving and giving and giving and somebody's taking and it doesn't quite even out with the Six of Pentacles. Like you can't give all of you because there's nothing left to give, you know, and there's nobody. If you're dealing with somebody that is just taking, like that drains your battery, so you can't recharge somebody or you can't recharge anything if you have a drained battery is kind of what I'm feeling. And with the Judgment card coming in, I feel like you're just kind of releasing all of it at this time. Like you're starting to let it go. You're hoping something changes with the Wheel of Three of Pentacles and that, you know, maybe this can be worked on, maybe this can't. Is it time? You know, I think you're trying to figure that out, but it's telling me is like set your boundaries. Like you know what's in your heart and you know you want some kind of victory with the situation and but you got to set those boundaries, you know. You can't let people take and take from you. Your advice is temperance, healing, patience. Like take time, figure out what you want. All right, that's what I got for you, my beautiful Libras. That could apply to work also. Like I don't know your situation. All right. What do we have for our Scorpios? Our lovely Scorpios. All right. My beautiful Scorpios. I did not do advice words for Aries or Taurus, so I will do that at the end. All right. What do we have for the lovely Scorpios? Please. Okay. What do I have for Scorpios? Alright. Focused on family, achieving dreams with this Ten of Pentacles, having the life they love, being good financial standing. Alright. What do we have? Six of Cups. I feel like this is more focused on family. Maybe. Alright, what do we have for Scorpio? Two more, please. Ten of Pentacles. A lot of Pentacles. The Magician popped out. All these cards. Alright, there we go. Ooh, Nine of Swords. Two of Cups. Three of Cups. Eight of Cups. On the bottom. I feel like overall this is a decision. Whether it's a love decision, a choice, or whether to... I feel like there's somebody you want to celebrate with this Two of Cups, you know, and maybe you're walking towards something. I feel like you're walking towards, you know, holding on to your your dreams, your goals. But you're definitely, sorry, I had to look more depth into that. So you got the Two of Cups on the bottom with the Three of Cups and the Eight of Cups. So I guess the side message is if you feel like you've made a choice with the lover and they're entertaining a third party, maybe it's time to walk away. Oh, that's not the only thing I get, but just a message to have out there. All right, so Ten of Pentacles. I think you're focused on how to build. Like, you're loving life, you're good financially, but you're kind of thinking about the past a little bit and trying to focus on you. But it's also leaving you stuck in your head a little bit. I mean, you're a little anxious about it with the Nine of Swords here. Like, maybe how to build this type of life or what you can do to make it happen. So, your advice is Five of Wands, conflict, or collaboration. Take it either as both. So, maybe you need to work through the details of it. And I feel like if this is a job, maybe it's a job that you don't really love so much. Okay? All right. You're going to listen to my phone ringing. All right. Moving on to Sagittarius. My hair keeps floating in my face. All right. What do we have for these beautiful Saggies? All right. My lovely Sagittarius. What do we got for Saggies? Alright. Alright, Four of Pentacles. What do we have for Saggy? Silence is what we have for Sagittarius. Alright. What do I have for Sag? Two more, please. I feel like they're being mysterious right now. You're not talking, are you? Alright. Seven of Cups. King of Pentacles and a heartbreak. Okay. I feel like the underlying is saying that there's multiple options, especially when it comes to dating. I wouldn't really say dating. Maybe you're dealing with somebody that feels like they have multiple options and it's just kind of painful right now. Especially with the Seven of Cups, King of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords. You know, the King of Pentacles knows what he wants, knows how to get it. But maybe he's kind of looking at all the options and you're just kind of feeling it. I feel like right now with the Four of Pentacles on the board and the Star, the Moon, and the Queen of Wands is you're kind of holding back your energy. You know, you could be saving up money, you could be doing something, but you're definitely holding on to something tightly. I think you're focused more on trying to heal of something that was maybe unforeseen or hidden from you. You know, I feel like you're starting to get back into your light a little bit. you know, trying to find your passion. Maybe you are looking at other options with the Seven of Cups here, like which direction I need to go in. You know, you want to be able to stand on your own 2 feet with this King of Pentacles, but I feel like you got to get past that pain first, okay? And you got to be able to let go a little bit, you know, ease up on whatever you're holding on to. I don't know. That's what I have for you, Saggies. Right, moving on to the Cappies. All right, my lovely Capricorns, my money makers. Alright, what are we doing, Cappies? Okay, for Capricorn, please. What do we have for the lovely Capricorns? Yeah, what do we got? Alright. Alright, what do we have for Capricorn? We have Ace of Wands, starting something new, venturing, having new ideas. Ooh, the Devil. Okay. Capricorn energy. Ooh. Walking away, maybe venturing towards something with this Ten of Wands. Dropping the burdens. Alright. Being stuck in your head. Ooh, the Lovers is a choice. I feel like you're being creative right now. You're trying to think of ideas. This can go a couple of different ways. So, the Ace of Wands tells me that you are being very creative. You're trying to think about, put your passions ahead, what you want to create, what you want to start. But with that Devil, I feel like you're also being in your own energy. You know, but maybe you need to, like, not focus so much on the negative aspects of what could happen, especially with this Ten of Wands, feeling like maybe it's something that's hold you down. You're kind of stuck in your head about it. And with the Lovers, I don't feel so much as it's a decision between people as more it's a choice for you. Okay? I mean, you got crazy ideas, but right now you're just kind of keeping them to yourselves with this Four of Swords, and you're just kind of thinking internally. You're like, is this going to grow? Am I going to be good at it? Is it going to work for me? You know? But that's the kind of energy I'm feeling. You know, and the Ten of Pentacles is behind that, so I feel like it's maybe something that will work and keep working towards it, but you did get the Fool card as your advice. So maybe take a leap of faith. Maybe get out of your head a little bit. Stop focusing on the negative aspects and start focusing on, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, cool. We can kind of maneuver around that. Try new ideas. All right. Take it or leave it, Cappy. That's all I got. You have a good day. All right. Moving on to my Aquarius. All right, my beautiful Aquarius. What do we have for you? All right. What do we have for the beautiful Aquariuses out there? The lovely water. I keep saying lovely. The water carriers. All right. One more. All right. What do we have for Aquarius? We have the Three of Pentacles, maybe collaborating, working on something. Putting in some team effort. We got the Eight of Cups. Walking away from something, maybe walking towards something. What do we got? Page of Pentacles. right, Seven of Pentacles. I like that. Ooh, Nine of Swords, the Emperor, and the King of Swords. Okay. So, I think right now, Aquarius, you need to get out of your head. Nine of Swords is never a good energy to be in. But I think you're focused on, or in your head about how to find some kind of structure or stability with the Empire here. You know, how to be that stern, steady ground and kind of state what you want with this King of Swords, being honest, clear, concise about it. So, especially if it has to do with a work thing, you know, with collaborating with people. You know, are you willing to walk away from what's not serving you at this point, or somebody not listening to ideas? Especially with this Page of Pentacles here, like you have the ideas, you have the start of abundance, but he's sitting on standing on like a little skate right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of like a teeter-tottering situation. But you've planted the seeds. You know how you want something to work. Now you just got to get out of your head, and it's quite possible that you need to maneuver around some of these forces or people that kind of stand in your way. You know, maybe state your piece, be honest about what you want. All right, the Wheel. It's all changing. All right. Oh, not a bad read. I just think there needs to be you need to be a little bit more honest about the way you feel and how you maneuver that. All right, on to Pisces. All right, what do we have for the lovely Pisces? Oh, the Sun card, nothing but rainbows and sunshine is all you can do. Pisces is going big right now. All right. What do we have for the lovely Pisces? One more time. Seven of Swords in the reverse. All right, for Pisces, we'll take it. All right, two more, please. Go. And there we go. I feel like Pisces, you're letting go to burdens. If you've been carrying a burden, carrying somebody else's burden, I feel like you're letting go, especially if you've been dealing with somebody that is like standing in their own right. Not really standing in their own right. I didn't say that right. What's the term I want to use? Stubborn, kind of egotistical. You know, I think you've been trying to hold on to something, and at this point with the Seven of Swords, you're just kind of releasing it. Like, there's no more lies, no more deceptions. You're just moving on to your own calmer waters, and you're walking away to your own victory. Because you have the Seven of Swords in reverse, you're not dealing with anything that is a lie, deception. Like, you're not doing it. You're focused on your own calmer waters, walking out to your own glory and victory. I love that for you. Oh, dropping that burden, whatever was holding that burden, could be a boss, could be a lover in that situation that you've been holding on to. But I feel like you're moving forward for yourself. You're focused on your own victories. And Ace of Cups, like new love, just new. something new energy. Maybe it's healing, maybe it's a new job, maybe new career, maybe something else, but either way, all I see is you're no longer dealing with any BS. You're focused on your own peace right now. You're going to walk away from anything that doesn't cause that peace, and you're going to celebrate your own victories. All right. That's what I have for you, Pisces. All right. As I said, I did not do advice cards for Aries and Taurus, so I will do those. Do one apiece. Alright, what do we have? Advice for Aries. Ooh, be clear and concise. Okay? Whether it's to you or to somebody else, be very clear. Just feel clarity as your advice for that one. Alright, for Taurus, we have 6 of Cups. All I'm hearing is learn lessons from the past. And focused on remembering. So maybe you've got something hard going on. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.